Anyway, hello and welcome to my new series that I am calling Reviewing the Con. I'll come up with a better name later. My personal goal in life is to experience more, especially after the past few years that we've had with the pandemic and just everything, devolving after that. I would really like to just meet more like-minded people. And as a person who is a big fan of anime, I figure there's no better place than anime conventions. And I don't want to focus on that. I don't want to focus on the negativity going on in life or what have you, just because that's not what I want to focus on my life. The last con that I reviewed, I didn't have a lot of positive things to say about it, which brings me to the con that I went most recently, LoboCon. LoboCon is a convention hosted by the anime club at Sonoma State College, and I've never been to a convention that was hosted by an anime club, besides the one that I was a part of when I was in high school, so I didn't exactly know what to expect, and I was truly pleasantly surprised. Now, this was a one-day event, but it was honestly packed full of things to do. They had a number of panels that you could go to. There were only one at every point in time, which is fine, it's a small convention, but the panels were at least interesting. Like, there was how anime took off in the West, or the total history of Final Fantasy, which was very entertaining. Yeah, my personal favorite was Ash Can't Catch 'Em, which, as the title says, Ash will never catch all the Pokemon, which is probably why he had to go into early retirement anyway. They also had gaming and Magic the Gathering tournaments. I'm not a huge fan of Magic the Gathering, so I just didn't really go to those, but the fact that they had any form of tournaments at all was very surprising. And honestly, if I had been there on time, I know I would have beaten everybody's butts at Mario Kart, but that's besides the point. And the gaming hall was huge, honestly. They had a bunch of games that you could play at any time, and because this was a very small convention, there wasn't really a wait for anything. Granted, a lot of the consoles that they had were Nintendo Switches, but I assume it was because, again, this is a local college, so it's probably people's personal Switches that they brought in from home. They didn't have a lot of classic consoles, which is fine. I'm more of a modern console girly anyway, so if you really like playing Mario Kart 8, this was right up your alley. But also, if you're not a console person, they had board games, they had chessboards, they also had a DDR machine, like a full-on DDR machine. I didn't even know that you could rent those. So obviously I had to play it. And as a person who hasn't played DDR in maybe over 10 years, it kicked my ass. I have never felt so exhausted in my life than after playing DDR. So we didn't do that well, but it was fun nonetheless. They also had a trivia contest, they had a silent auction, which to be fair wasn't too silent because the guy who was hosting it was absolutely hilarious. They also had a masquerade, which I actually entered. I had never been in a masquerade before. I did not place, I didn't think I would. It was a very spur of the moment type of thing, but I still had fun. Everybody in line was super nice and really sweet and welcoming. And then at the end of the convention, they gave us all pizza. They actually fed us. I've never been to a convention where they had fed us before. It was kind of mind-boggling to me. And this wasn't some like cheapy pizza either. This wasn't like Little Caesars. This was Mountain Mike's. Mountain Mike's is really good pizza. But overall, you can just really tell that this convention was being led and directed by people who just genuinely cared and wanted to do good, which is something I feel like you don't see a lot nowadays. It's literally just about give us your money and you can just kind of suck it up. These people just truly wanted the attendees to have a good time, especially because from what I could gather, this kind of seemed like maybe this was a lot of people's first convention ever. There were a lot of young kids, there were a lot of just young adults in general who maybe have never gone to a big convention due to anxiety reasons, so having something of this scale and this caliber was really refreshing. This whole convention wasn't about just taking your money. It was about genuine camaraderie. And at the end of the day, that's kind of the whole point of going to a convention. It's just a bunch of fellow-minded nerds just getting together and talking about the weird and cringe that they don't get to talk about on a daily basis. And that's what these spaces are supposed to be. They're supposed to be safe spaces. It's supposed to be for the weird. It's supposed to be for the cringe. If I don't see a fandom getting together and singing their fandom songs, does it really feel like a proper convention to me? I see far too often online people making fun of cosplayers for singing their fandom songs or maybe glomping their friends. And if that's not your if that's not what you like, that's fine. But why is it your business to make fun of other people and make them feel bad about liking something? This is supposed to be a place that is loving and caring and accepting. And I truly feel like in the past maybe 5 to 6 years, maybe in the past decade, I feel like we're kind of losing sight of that. People are far too quick to judge on what they deem to be abnormal. And I never felt unsafe at this convention. And I only wish that there were more people that could have gone to this one, because it was just good, wholesome fun, honestly. And I can't wait for the next one. From what it seems like, this is going to be an annual convention that LoboCon hosts around this time every year, and I'm definitely going to make a point to try to go next year. So overall, I give the convention a solid 8.5 out of 10. I will go again. I'll definitely recommend it to other people. But again, it is hosted by a college, it's hosted by an anime club. Don't expect extravagant panels like with voice actors and things. Maybe one day if they get big enough. But anyways, please let me know if you went to that convention. If you liked what I have to say, please subscribe. And if you hate what I have to say, tell me in the comments below. Okay, bye!